OP Rock. Even the name felt heavy, a name whispered by soldiers, never shouted. Nestled in the Kunar province of Afghanistan, it was a fortress of stone and dust. Towering above the Pech River Valley, OP Rock was a lonely sentinel, a watchful guardian over a land scarred by centuries of conflict. The terrain mirrored the harsh lives of the Marines stationed there. Jagged peaks clawed at the sky, casting long, ominous shadows that stretched and twisted as the sun began its descent. The air was thin, carrying the scent of dust and distant gunfire, a constant reminder of the ever-present danger. OP Rock was a place where the wind carried secrets, secrets whispered on the breath of ghosts. Marine Zolik, a young recruit with eyes that had seen too much, was the first to report the strange occurrences. It started subtly, a whisper of his name in the dead of night, a cold spot in a room already chilled by the mountain air. He dismissed it at first. The stress, the isolation, it was playing tricks on his mind, but the whispers persisted, growing bolder, more insistent. Footsteps echoed in the deserted corridors, heavy boots on stone, though no one was there. Zolik began to feel a presence, watching him, following him. A chill ran down his spine, and he knew with a certainty that chilled him to his core that they were not alone. He tried to tell the other Marines, but they dismissed his claims. Just the wind, Zolik, they'd say, their voices tight with forced laughter. But their eyes betrayed their words, a flicker of doubt, of fear, hidden beneath a veneer of bravado. As the weeks crawled by, the incidents escalated. Other Marines began to report strange noises, fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures at the edge of their vision. The feeling of being watched, of being hunted, permeated the outpost. Fear, like a virus, began to spread among the men. One night, under the pale glow of the Afghan moon, Corporal Ramirez saw it. A tall, gaunt figure shrouded in shadow standing at the edge of the perimeter. It stood there for a moment, its eyes burning with an unnatural light, then vanished into thin air. Ramirez, a hardened veteran, was shaken to his core. He couldn't explain what he had seen, but he knew, with a certainty that defied logic, that it was not of this world. Then, one night, the unexplainable turned terrifyingly real. The silence of the Afghan night was shattered by the deafening roar of gunfire. Tracer rounds lit up the sky, painting streaks of fire against the darkness. The Marines, adrenaline surging, scrambled for their weapons, their hearts pounding in their chests. "Contact! Contact!" the cry went up, echoing through the outpost. Gadi, northwest perimeter. They fought with the ferocity and precision drilled into them, pouring a hail of bullets into the darkness. The air crackled with the smell of gunpowder and fear, but as quickly as it began, the attack ceased. Silence descended once more, heavy and absolute. Dawn painted the battlefield in hues of gray and red. The Marines, exhausted but still on edge, searched for the enemy, their weapons at the ready, but there was nothing. No bodies, no bloodstains, no sign of the enemy they had fought so fiercely just hours before. The ground was littered with spent shell casings, silent witnesses to a battle that left no trace. The Marines stared at each other, their faces pale with shock and disbelief. They had fought, they had bled, but they had fought nothing. The whispers, the shadows, the phantom attack, it all pointed to something sinister, something that defied explanation. They were left with a chilling truth. They were not alone on OP Rock. Fear, once a flickering candle, now raged like a wildfire through the outpost. The Marines, hardened veterans of countless firefights, were now prisoners of an unseen enemy. The weight of the unknown pressed down on them, heavy and suffocating. Zolik, his eyes haunted, watched as his comrades, their faces etched with fear, whispered amongst themselves. He could hear the fear in their voices, the doubt that gnawed at their sanity. They had faced death before, but this was different. This was fear of the unknown, the fear of something they couldn't fight, couldn't understand. The outpost, once a symbol of strength, had become a prison of fear. The Marines were trapped, not by an enemy they could see, but by an enemy they could only feel, an enemy that whispered in the darkness, an enemy that haunted their every waking moment. Word of the strange occurrences at OP Rock reached the ears of a grizzled old sergeant stationed at a nearby base. Sergeant Khan, a Pashtun local who had served alongside American forces for years, listened intently, his weathered face creased with concern. He knew the stories, the legends whispered by the locals. O.P. Rock, they said, was a place of sorrow, a place where the spirits of the dead lingered, their souls unable to find peace. It was a place where the veil between this world and the next wore thin, a place where the past refused to stay buried. Khan, a man of both worlds, understood the skepticism of the Marines, but he also knew the power of the unseen, the grip that the past could hold on the present. He knew that some wounds, some scars, ran deeper than any bullet could reach. Sergeant Khan revealed the chilling history of O.P. Rock, a history steeped in bloodshed and sorrow. For centuries it had been a battleground, a place where empires clashed and armies fell. The very stones beneath their feet were soaked in the blood of countless soldiers. He spoke of a fierce battle fought decades earlier, a battle that claimed the lives of hundreds of Afghan soldiers. They had died defending their homeland, their souls forever bound to the place where they fell. Khan believed that the Marines were not alone on O.P. Rock. They were sharing it with the ghosts of fallen warriors. The Marines listened, their faces pale, their minds struggling to comprehend the weight of his words. The ghosts of O.P. Rock were not figments of their imagination, they were echoes of a past that refused to be silenced. Were the strange occurrences at O.P. Rock the work of restless spirits, their souls forever bound to the battlefield? Or was there something more sinister at play, something darker, something that fed on fear itself? The answer, like the Afghan wind, remained elusive, a whisper on the edge of perception. One thing was certain. O.P. Rock was a place of power, a place where the line between the living and the dead blurred, a place where the past cast a long, dark shadow over the present. It was a place that left its mark on the souls of the men who served there, a mark that time could not erase. The question remains, is O.P. Rock truly haunted? Or is there something more, something worse, lurking in the shadows, something that even the bravest soldier cannot comprehend? The answer, my friends, lies hidden in the wind-swept peaks and desolate valleys of Afghanistan, waiting for those brave enough to seek it out.